I have to say it aloud so it doesn't happen.
It's a strange form of manifest destiny. Anyway, we are back and online and ready for another adventure. So we'll kind of start with a quick recap. We are in the mountains, post ritual with the druid. Was channeled some energy with the obelisk, and then the mountains started to shift, and bubbling tar started coming up out of the ground. We dealt with the orc invasion ambush that was happening kind of mid ritual, and then the dryad herself turned into a T-Rex and tried to eat us. After which we were able to subdue her, and thanks to the Death Ward spell, she managed to stay alive as a result of whatever chaotic energy was coursing through her. She stayed unconscious, and so we traveled through the woods to her tree in a clearing, placed her in her tree that kind of swallowed her up and made a protective barrier. We heard some more orc horns in the distance before we even left, so we were pretty sure that there's some other threats that are still out there to try to hunt us down. So we dashed off for the mountains, went through a couple of tunnels and up some very steep paths and around some very sheer cliffs. We did manage to, very humorously so, spider climb around a corner that had broken away and collapsed underneath, leaving no path. We did unfortunately lose one of our other mercenaries as a part of that process. Then after we passed that particular challenge, made our way through some tunnels where we had a Y in the path, and we chose to go down towards the river. And in so doing, we made it to a very dilapidated rope bridge that had a couple wooden planks that were mostly just rotted. Lumo had made it to the other side, and we had gained the attention of some dragonettes, some weird little fire-breathing, chest-glowing, super tiny dragons who had come in and very defensively were kind of breathing some fire all around, showing that they were, trying to puff up the chest, being very protective of the area. And we tried to communicate. They called us mean, and like other outsiders, their expectations are that of ruin and peril, and they bring only strife, and so they did not want you here.
So they're not wrong.
And they're they're really really not wrong. And so we attacked them and killed one. And they got real aggressive, and one of them flew away, apparently going after Papa, whoever that may be. And then through our future communication, we were able to talk him down. We brought the one that died back to life, healed it, kind of mended it some, enough so that it could actually fly steady by the time that it actually left the area. And then, so that they had stood down. But they did kind of confirm y'all had mentioned Mordenkainen's name, and then in response to that, that was kind of the trigger word that got them off of their offensive and more wary, and asked how you knew Papa's name. So apparently, Mordenkainen is Papa, or at least one of Papa's, or some relation in that way. And once they left, that's kind of where we're sitting. The one of the unfortunate aftermaths of the brief encounter of them being aggressive was they blew a lot of fire, which burned away not only just the remainder of the rickety bridge that was already in existence, but also the rope that Lumo had attached to him when he crossed the first time, leaving Lumo on one side of the 40-foot chasm and everybody else on the other.
So we're down 2 ropes altogether, because one's still stuck up on the mountainside and one got burned away here.
That's right.
Does anybody still have some rope?
I think everybody would have had 1 rope, right? Because that's a pretty standard
guess-
adventuring thing.
We're kind of down 3 ropes
3?
because the veteran had one on him.
Oh crap, that's right.
He had one.
I mean,
He had one tied to him, and then actually he might be down 4 ropes because he might have. Because I don't think his is one of the ones we actually used, and the one that was actually his, actually on, not the one he had one tied to him, and the one that was actually his. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think we're down 4.
So we should have 3 ropes left, is that right?
I mean,
I don't have a rope.
I brought
2
2 ropes with me. So
Okay,
I
okay.
brought 3 I've had 3 ropes, and I used 1 rope of mine. I don't know whose rope you used for this, but there were 2 ropes attached to me when I came over. So
Okay, so Steen's got 2.
But I
Right.
do have a block and tackle, which is a cable and a set of pulleys.
Okay.
And I have a crossbow if we needed to shoot a rope across to Lumo.
So block and tackle is kind of to lift things up, right?
yeah, typically.
Typically, but I think you can make it so it goes bidirectionally.
Okay, so we at least have,
Rope and
yeah, we at least have rope for this. So the trick is going to be getting it to the other side. What I could do, I do have 2 regular daggers. I could attach the rope to one of my daggers and chuck it across.
How
Towards
long is the
Lumo.
rope?
30 feet.
30 feet.
I think the ropes are relatively long.
Mine was 50 feet.
I think, yeah. See,
Okay, yeah.
most of them are 50, I think.
Say we would need about a 50 to make it.
So the bridge is damaged, right, on Limo's side. And
Bridge is
most of
gone.
it, are the pillars still there?
Okay.
On Lumo's side, they all got burnt, I think.
The pillars or the bridge?
Like the post that had it anchored.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. Mostly it was the rope that burned. But on one thing that we were a little wary about was how much they wiggled on your side. On the other, some of the actual wood was part of what. So Lumo did put out fire to one almost immediately when it barely set fire to the post the first time, and then the second one when it hit definitely crisped up some of the outside. It's still there.
Okay.
But it is not only old, and its shape has changed a little due to age, and it's splintered down the middle real bad. Now it's charred up pretty good. So its integrity suspect. Suspect. I'll just say the suspect.
We had sent Lumo over with some pitons because the original plan was to kind of wrap the ropes around the posts, but have the pitons as a secondary anchor just in case. So he should have some pitons over there.
Mm-hmm. That is true. Yeah. In fact, I
Those will be
believe he
middle.
even had put one in the ground, and I think that echo the was the thing that called in the dragonettes, essentially.
Yeah.
Using his hammer instead of his head this time to hammer him in.
Yes.
Okay.
What are we investigating?
The posts on our side. You said they were wobbly, and I'm just making a conclusion about the other side and putting my survival skills to the test. I'm going to just hammer in one of the posts. With my shield, and then
Okay.
attach rope to it.
Okay, so we're going to attach it to the post on your side?
Yep.
Can we do the backup anchor with a piton on that one as well?
We just
Into the rock behind it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Did we say we had 7? I wrote 7 down, but I don't know if that was for the number of pitons we had left, or...
we just need enough. If we're not anchoring it on the other side as well, then anchoring it is not going to be as effective.
We are anchoring it on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the 7 would have been for the pitons because we weren't counting ropes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. So I think we had 7, and I think that was... I think I marked that after Lumo used his on the other side. I think we had 12 across the sets that we had amongst all the people. And we used 4 on the first mountain pass, and we've used 1 technically thus far here. So I think that's where that came from. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Lumo's anchoring his pitons onto the ground then?
Yeah, same sort of thing,
That's-
like wrapping it around the post and then anchoring the end of it onto the piton. So it's
Okay.
kind of double. There's a backup if one or the other gives way.
Okay. And then we just we wrap 2 ropes around the post, 1 high, 1 low, and we shimmy across, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking.
I think across everyone we have 5 50-foot ropes.
Left?
That's correct.
Okay, that's good.
We use 2 to get across. And we make sure they're tight as possible. We don't want too much middle sag. Or someone could get stuck.
Before how far back was the fork in the path?
It was only like 150, 200 feet back up through the little tunnel. It wasn't crazy far, just enough that, I mean, you can still hear the rushing water pretty soundly.
Okay. would volunteer to help tie knots here first. But afterwards, I'd like to just jog back up the tunnel to the fork, and if there's a spot, I'll use my I'll use my detect magic and see if there's a spot that's kind of clear of any of the sparkly bioluminescent kind of glow. Try and find a good spot to leave Thieves' Cant mark for Ileana in case she's following us.
Oh, okay, okay. Back right at the somewhere right at the Y.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just something subtle that she would know to look for, but to let her know which way we had gone.
Not just an arrow pointing down the.
No. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and. Roll me an intelligence check.
Oh, good.
Okay, so roll me. Actually, I should have done it the other way. Roll me an insight check. Different. Yeah, go ahead and do an insight check, and then from there, I might let you, depending on the result, that might get advantage on your intelligence check. Okay, so that seems
That's better.
sufficient. That how well you know Ileana and what she's capable of and what she can do, and that she also knows Thieves' Cant, and those things. So go ahead and roll a second intelligence check to be effectively an advantage for the first one.
Okay, so I can roll that one again.
Mm-hmm.
Please roll higher. That's better.
Okay. Okay. So you're trying to be subtle, and so you didn't want to just draw like big arrow pointing, neon sign pointing. We went this way, and you think you have a pretty good bead on something that would kind of reach out to Ileana specifically, so that she would know where to go. You find a little open spot, and then etch in your mark.
Okay, good. And then jog back down and join everybody again.
Okay, so we have Piton anchored on the other side. We're going to tie rope. We are going to Piton on this side as well. Is that correct?
Yes, I think that was what we decided.
Okay. And then you're gonna you said you were gonna tie it off, and then how are we getting the rope to the other side?
Good old crossbow.
Yeah, I think Bijou said that she would shoot an arrow over to Lumo with the rope attached to it.
Okay, so we're gonna do kind of like the Zen archery thing and shoot it at Lumo and him catch it, or are we just firing it at the rock, or?
Well, Lumo's direction, relatively speaking, so he could catch it, but if it goes further, to hit the rocky dirt. Or look for a loose place in the rock.
Lumo's general direction.
Okay. Alright, Bijou, then I need an attack roll with your crossbow just into the chat will be fine.
That's a miss.
Yes. That's a missing Lumo, but I think just for purposes that makes sense if that were the rope tied to the actual crossbow bolt, firing from it, it very likely veered off one way or the other just because of the way, a crossbow actually sits, or a bolt actually sits in a crossbow. It's kind of difficult to have rope tied to it in a way, and so not only that, plus the weight, really just not something we've practiced. And so you fire it over, and this one just the weight just pulls it down and blunk, tinks off the side of the actual rock cliff below, and then into the water.
See, it's okay, guys. I got this. And I start pulling up the rope
Yeah.
as fast as my little arms will move.
Yep, just like spearfishing. Pulling the rope backwards. It does tug at you pretty hard. The river's flowing pretty briskly. I need you to roll an athletics check. Ooh, okay. So you, as you're kind of pulling it back, you go to tug on it and it stops. And then you tug and you tug. It's like it's caught on some rocks. And then just one final little tug, and then it loosens up. But the crossbow itself, the bolt, very nearly stuck semi-permanently on a rock. Or rocks. But you did manage to pull it back up, and then still attached to the rope, you have your crossbow bolt again. You want to try to fire it again?
Yep.
Okay, let's go for a little bit of this time. Ah. So
That's better.
So Lumo, are you going to try to catch this bolt, or you want to let it hit and then try to do something?
I'm going to try and catch it.
This
Oh,
is
you show off.
a skill that's very specifically Lumo is quite adept at. It's something y'all have actually seen him do several times thus far with some projectiles as they're fired at him. What would have been a hit, what would have been something square, he just literally just snaps it out of the air and catches onto it.
Izzy claps.
I'm going to tie it around this little guy here.
Okay.
Wrap it around, and like kind of put the bolt kind of through it as sort of a knot.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh. And then with the extra gonna run it over to the piton that we put in, or
Yeah.
okay, and then tie it up. All right, so let's go ahead and do just a dex check. Ropes are not particularly something from your background of a strong suit, but it's simple enough stuff. You learned kind of you had that on the job learning the last time when you were tying up to pitons and stuff on the side of the mountain. This is much less stressful than that. Okay, so you fashion it up. Do note that the slack, you got to wrap it around a few times. It's a 40-foot bridge, 50-foot rope, or 40-foot span, 50-foot rope. There's not a lot of extra.
So you said we had 5 ropes altogether, right?
That's right.
Okay. Can I tie one around myself and give the end to Steen, and then I'll be the first one to shimmy back over?
Okay. And are we tightrope walking? How are we
No. Hands and legs wrapped around the rope.
Oh, okay.
Just like, yeah.
Full cliffhanger style.
Yeah. Izzy likes to show off, but above a raging rocky river, I think is probably not the best place.
Okay. All right, so you're gonna go first. Tie yourself off, hand your rope over to the big guys, and then and then start shimmying across. Okay, so
Yep.
let's do a D100 and an acrobatics. You place your weight onto the rope itself as you start to test, just very very lightly test the strength on each side. It is something that you're used to is give of ropes, especially like off of masts and things, as you're just something that you're comfortable with hanging around in this kind of climbing is something that you're comfortable with. But when you get on there, you feel it. You feel a little bit of sag. You feel some move in those actual posts.
Okay.
But it holds.
Okay.
And it catches, and then it pulls back on the pitons, and it wiggles, but it's actually feeling okay.
Okay. And then athletics, you said, right?
No, acrobatics.
Acrobatics, okay.
Yep.
Good, because that's a little bit better for me.
Okay, and then you shimmy across. You know how to compose yourself while doing so really well, and you just hand over fist, not worried about the height of, that you're above the river or any of those things, and you're also adept at not like how to displace your weight in a way so that it's not you're not bouncing on your way across as you you're more just sliding very smoothly. No problems. Make it to the other side.
Now, did you guys want me to tie this one off here too?
I'm going to. Well, there's already 2 ropes over there.
That's right. Yeah, there's the one that we got across with the crossbow.
Tie it to the other post. And
Okay.
I'll tie this end to the other post.
Okay, I do that.
Just in case.
Okay, so kind of like you do, wrap around a couple times around a tree so that you can increase the friction and it kind of deal, just so that you have another way to hold, another source of power holding on. Okay, cool.
One, like I said, tie it towards the bottom. That way there's less exerting force from the leverage of the top. Yeah.
Okay. So we've got 2 run across, and or are we going to pull that one back, or are we just going to have 2, like we were literally going to have span with 2 ropes now?
Oh, there's 3 ropes spanning across now.
There's 2 ropes spanning across. If you want to bring a third one, you either have to shoot it or somebody's going to have to come across with it.
Didn't Lumo go across with the rope?
Did
It did, but it got burnt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it got burned.
Oh, okay.
So we've got 2 ropes tied off here
Um,
now.
On 2 different segments of post. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, so I still recommend tying another one around yourselves when you're coming across, just in case.
Okay, so in order to expedite our trips across the bridge, we don't have to do it necessarily one at a time. What order are we going in?
Me and Lodrin should definitely go last.
Oh, Bijou's not going across that rope.
Okay.
She ain't gonna do it.
Well, does she want to take the sky ride?
She's considering it. She's trying to decide what she wants to do, but she's not going across that rope.
Me and Lodrin catapult Bijou across?
Oh no, no need for that.
You could take your dad across with your spell.
Yeah, I mean, I have Dimension Door and I have Polymorph, so I could turn it into something that flies.
Yeah.
Or I could take somebody with
We could
me
turn into
across.
something really big that can fly.
That's actually what Lodrin's going to do.
That's actually what Lodrin's going to do.
Lodrin's gonna shapeshift into or animal shift
Yeah,
into
Grave Eagle.
an eagle. Yeah, and then then you would have
With the beard.
an eagle with a beard, like a really big.
So
Yeah.
if you're the last one across, can you collect our stuff from that side? Like unhook the ropes on that side and take the pitons and stuff and then shift and then come over?
Yeah.
But Bijou will wait for everybody else to cross, make sure everybody else makes it across.
Question is the giant eagle able to carry Steen?
No, they're not that giant.
Oh.
It's not like the giant eagles here are not as big as like the ones
Lord of the
inside Lord of the
Rings
Rings kind of eagles. Yeah,
Okay.
and the giant eagles are big, but they're not.
Carry me big.
Yeah.
They're not mounts. Got it. I have a backup plan. That's okay. My fast
actually-
breaks a rope. I have a plan.
They actually are large size. I thought the giant eagles were medium in this edition, but no, they are actually large. So, and they have 16 strength. So, you're extra heavy with your heavy armor and stuff, and your gear and your regular weight. But I don't think it'd be.
Weighing 165 pounds, not including my weight character. So
That's a big ask for a flight. I think even from.
I weigh at least 300 pounds. At least.
You're also a rock man.
Yeah. I'm dense.
So should we send the veteran
think
over
my-
next?
I think my character.
Yeah.
All right, red shirt.
Red shirt. Can I throw the red shirt across? Red rover, send the red shirt right over.
Okay, so we'll do the red shirt next. I mean the veteran next, and then
Yeah, no respect.
Lodrin's going across that way by animal, by flying animal. Bijou's either going by flying animal or teleporting. Capricious? Let's see.
Wait, dimension door. Can't that take more than one person through?
Yeah.
They have to be your size or smaller, but yeah, they can do that. I think they have to be your size or smaller.
Yes.
I can crawl. Think thin.
Capricious at the end of the day could polymorph.
Question is, would it?
Yeah, but if Bijou uses her dimension door, then we use one spell slot instead of two, right?
That's right.
And Biju's, she's medium, right?
Not small.
Is she considered small? Oh.
Yeah, they're small.
Petite.
So I think Capricious is technically the only person who could go with her.
Yes.
Oh, and Lumo, but he's already on this side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he comes through the door to this side. What are you doing? I just want to go to the door.
Okay, so the only ones that need then to take the rope are Carr, Steen, and Veteran. Is that right?
Yep.
Sounds right.
Okay, so
How heavy's car? Because he might be able to take the Eagle Express.
I feel like this is one of those puzzles, like you can't leave this on this side, but you have to take that over there. You know
the fox,
the fox, yeah. It's like the fox and a chicken or something.
the fox, the chicken, and the corn.
Yeah.
Oh, I have an ingenious way to get across. So, I mean, I have a way.
Okay.
So don't worry about Steve. He's got this.
Okay.
What genius way to get across? Wait, I have a way to get across.
No. It's genius. It's genius.
Okay.
Now I'm worried.
Step right up.
Yep. I'm going last.
Okay.
I'm going before Lodrin. But I
Wish I
have
could
a
use
way
my
to
alchemy
cross.
jug to conjure up some popcorn.
Yeah.
All right. So I need someone to volunteer to roll a D100 for the veteran.
I'll do it.
He's.
I say this in.
Just.
Where's the person?
I just feel like he's getting nervous right now seeing Wolfen roll.
I did
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah. That's right.
That's a D.
You can see as the veteran makes his way across, the two posts move considerably as he traipses across.
Car is next up.
Now they were wiggly. Now they're kind of taut at like 45-degree angles on both sides. The posts have very little left in them.
So I don't want anybody to fall in the river. Like I can take two people across and just use all my level 4 spell slots.
Ooh, that's rough.
Because I can take me across, come back, and take
So-
another person.
We don't know how
Yeah,
heavy
but-
car is, so
Everybody else is too
Essentially-
big.
I'm way too.
That's true.
I'm about 100 to 150 pounds heavier than Car. So, not knowing how heavy Car is, Car could essentially go over with Lodrin. With the 16 strength Eagle. Because Lodrin's weight from his character and his gear doesn't count towards the weight of the Eagle. So,
But I don't know if you can ride the giant eagle.
Giant Eagle, it's a large creature. You can just carry him over. Might not be able to ride him, but you can definitely have his arms grabbed onto him and carried over. Dangling him by his feet. That'd be hilarious.
You can always try.
You said the poles were a bit wiggly.
Yeah, he said they're giving away.
Yeah, they're like at 45 degrees right now, just from the slack. They're more than wiggly. They just have very
They're
little
not gonna
strength in
hold
them.
me.
Can I do anything here to try and reinforce them? Like pull back on them and shove the hole full of other rocks or something?
I was thinking my spear.
A spear, yeah, something.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna jam my spear into the hole type thing as hard as I can, or the little where the pole is driven into. I want to drive my spear into it as well.
Okay. So go ahead and let's do an athletics with advantage, and then an intelligence check.
I want to re-roll that one.
Oh, Lumo,
Okay. Yes. Yep.
I has the best plan ever. Stuff us in the bag of holding and tell us to hold our breath.
Okay.
You gotta re-roll that one.
Man, my next character is gonna be a halfling.
Jesus Christ, dude. That saved your ass so many times. Like it's the single most powerful ability that any one character has, I'm pretty sure. Man.
Wouldn't work for me.
Oh man, that's amazing. It's just amazing. Yes, so you feel like at least on this side that with the spear kind of wedged into the hole, it is acting like a splitting wedge in a way, but inside the rock, holding it kind of reinforced, jammed in there real good on this side of the bridge.
I mean, if I had halfling luck, I'd roll ones back to back consistently.
Okay, so who's going next? Anybody else going actually across the rope? What are we doing?
I don't know. Car is the only one that may have to actually go across the rope.
I also shapeshift into a giraffe.
I long neck myself across.
What do I roll?
Grab my head.
What do I roll?
Lodrin's gonna take and hold onto the rope on this end.
Seeing Lodrin do that, I'm gonna also do the same.
Okay, like the ones that's the securing the, not just him, but the ones that are actually securing to the wooden post. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm actually gonna grab the rope from the post over here and hand it to Car. Tell him to fasten it around, just in case.
Okay. And then
Cool.
Does he take the rope?
Yes.
All
Take
right.
your rope.
all right. Roll me a D100, and either athletics or acrobatics.
Your cloak billows dramatically as you
You get onto the rope and test your weight against it. As you move even a couple of feet, it feels like it's kind of holding, and then a couple of feet out, the actual post on this side gives way. The two people holding the rope roll athletics, and then Car, if you'll roll me another D100 for the piton.
I'm here. Don't worry. I've got you. So the slow trick.
Can I
Immediately.
grab onto the rope on this side?
Yes, please. And so immediately there's a lurch. As Car's weight gets out onto the rope, and he moves just a couple of feet, and then you can see him drop instantly, like, a foot and a half just down. As then immediately it yanks on the piton as the two burly guys on the other side hold it taut, pulling back on it. The piton, you can see it shake and pull halfway out of the rock itself. As the two guys grab onto it, pull back real hard, the car stays, like about that 2 feet down, but they're holding.
Oh yeah.
Do you come back or do you go forward? Or you just shit your pants and stay still, not moving at all?
I mean, realistically,
The ropes. I mean, a curse, obviously.
So I start playing my music and give you a bardic inspiration.
I want you to have some courage. You can make it.
If the rope seems steady, I'll just keep going forward.
Okay, yeah, both of them,
Encourage me with song.
Steen and Lodrin, are both holding on, straining under the weight, but with the remaining bit of the piton, and their just sheer strength, they're holding you still. The other side looks like it's been holding pretty solid, especially with them on this side, the veteran, Izzy, everybody kind of grabbing onto that, reinforcing the post on this side seems solid. I need one more D100 check. One more D100.
I'm not sure if it's our sheer strength or our sheer
Ah.
combined mass holding this pillar in place.
The car makes it across.
Nice roll.
Izzy like hugs him when he comes up onto the ledge and just like pulls him.
Never a doubt.
Of course not.
I think me and Lodrin and my combined weight are over 700 pounds.
Yeah, I figured y'all could have like just started like swinging
Tied
the rope
ropes
like you're
around
gonna
each
do.
other in the pole and just sat down. We are pillars.
All right.
Be the pillar.
Now what?
Tell the others. Everyone, no one else is using the rope, right? Lodrin's flying. Bijou and Copernicus are walking through a door, right?
It's just you.
All right. I'm gonna let loose the ropes on that end. We'll pull them back across.
Can we hear him over the river?
Yeah, it's
did
roaring,
it.
but he's the communication's okay right here from edge to edge. It's not too bad. The echo makes it annoying, but he gets the point across.
Echo.
I'll just be like, "How are you getting across?"
I got a bad idea and it's gonna work.
A bad idea?
Don't worry about it.
Do you need the ropes?
Nope.
Okay, well let go your side. We'll pull them up over here.
It'd be a lot. It'd be a lot easier for me and Lodrin to pull in the ropes because of the way of the rope and the current. So I figured me and Lodrin would reel them in.
Okay.
If that's what you want to do.
Well, I'm saying we can just wait till you get to the other side, and I'll wait, and I'll let go of the ropes here, and you guys can all pull them up when you get over there.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go with your plan.
Rather leave the
Alright.
ropes as a backup plan.
I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna go over here, right? And I'm gonna get back here. And you guys can't see me, right? Because maybe one of you.
Because of the
maybe-
rock? Yeah, I think.
Yeah. And you guys literally just see me come fucking flying, right? Just pass, and I do a running jump.
Okay.
All right.
Trying to jump to your maximum distance.
Yep.
Roll me in athletics.
Oh no. Oh no.
That's still a good roll for athletics. 11.
11. So this is on jump distance.
Does anyone?
I have to touch you to cast Death Ward
All
on
right.
you.
All right.
So
I'm still midair. And Misty step. Foomp.
When you land, when you make like so the combined distance
Yep.
between your jump and your misty step
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Oh, Alexa. She's so mean. She's so rude.
Just jumping in the conversation.
Like, I want to play. No. Go to your corner. So the combined distance, if your athletics was even 1 less, would have been right on the cliff face and down. But you,
No. That's why I came over to where I was, because it's 25 feet. It's 20 feet higher than where I'm landing. So I would have also had a down arc distance. So
Those aren't the actual heights that we said they were either.
I thought they were the heights, not the width of the path.
yeah, well, we did retcon the numbers back then, but that's okay. Because I still need you right on your leap. You're not solidly full out on the path. You are right on the in between.
I run towards him. I don't know how far
Yeah.
I get. Actually, I would like to think I've started running towards him once I realized what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah, yeah, it's probably realistic.
I was looking at my banish spell, but that would, when he comes back, he'd come back right where I was. So right where he was, that wouldn't have helped.
I need you to roll an acrobatics.
That's just not fair.
Sorry, Wolfen. I didn't mean to laugh at you at your time in peril, but you've done it so often to me.
You know what? That's a 20, because that is so bad. It's like
You flip
it's
the
like
speedometer.
an ace in cards. It can be a good card or a bad card, and I choose to be a good card. It's worth 11 instead of 1.
I don't think that's how that works.
I don't think it counts because 0 doesn't count. So
You land boots, half on the corner, half on the edge. Up, and you start sliding down the side.
Izzy's gonna start to run towards him too. I don't know if there's anything I can do about it, but Lumo.
Wait. Oh fuck, I don't know. How far is he from the water?
It's a pretty deep decline down, like 30, 40 feet before did we say right before we get to the actual water? It's like a 30, 40 foot drop.
Yeah, I think we said 40 feet.
And so, as you begin to slide, rocks are your friend. You're friends with rocks. Roll another athletics to see if you can slow or potentially stop your slide.
roll you say athletics.
Athletics, yep. As you are trying to scramble, climb, slow. So it was a pretty decent DC to stop, which you did not make. But you do slow yourself as you're sliding slowly in about a round's worth, if you will. He dips 15 feet from where he lands. Okay. I'll let you take an action at this point, Carr. That is now that it's dipped. If you wanted to do that, or if you wanted to wait to see some future outcome before you did it.
I see him sliding down, right?
Yeah.
I'll do it. I part the water. Spell's
Okay.
water in the area to move apart to create a trench. The trench extends across the spell's area, separated by water, forms a wall to either side. Remains while the spell, I think it's 10 minutes concentration.
Oh, that's
A
Moses.
cube that is 100 feet on a side. So I can part the water up to 100 feet.
Okay. Damn. Okay. That's pretty cool. So you make kind of like a wall. Are you gonna stop it all the way across?
If man, that might have been cool to do earlier.
Well, so you can do this the whole time?
Yeah, if I can, yeah.
Well, I guess no one else has to waste a spell slot to get across. Just walk across.
Well, I mean, it still is a trench going down. I don't know.
Oh, that's true.
It is
Yeah, we don't know how
it is
deep
my
it
last level 4 spell. I didn't know anyone was going to try to jump it. But yeah, I do that. Y'all do with it as you will. Right? And I just yell out like, "We've got about 10 minutes."
I figured I had at least another like
Making a wall just kind of around the area. I mean, this is 100 foot on a side is huge, right? So I mean, you're blocking up a lot of water, parting the water as as Steen slides down into the water. As
Well, Carr didn't know.
I mean I was banking on the fall distance giving me an extra couple feet.
And that was actually kind of smart. He said that all that college is paying off for him.
so everything roll, like you can see the water, like the whole area kind of shakes just a little as this raging river that's flowing down this way kind of curls back in on itself, and it starts rolling itself up like a big carpet, rolling itself backwards this way. And the water you can hear rushing into the edge as it's building and building on the other side from the water coming from down above. But for the moment, the water dries up as Steen slides to the bottom into what is a dry riverbed. 5 to 10 feet deep of where the water was, right below where he's at.
Oh, and as an action, I like every turn, which I know we're not doing turn based. I can change the effect that I'm doing. So if that water seems to be coming too high, I'll create like a path for it to cross. But right now, I'm just kind of focused on Steam.
Okay, sure. Okay, good. All right, Steen, you have slid to the bottom of what is still damp and slick, but your downward momentum has stopped.
How far down is he?
He's about 50, 55 down.
Okay. Can I signal to the other guys to let one of the ropes go so that I can pull it in on this side?
Mm-hmm.
I do my best to let go of the rope.
So untie it from the piton and unwrap it from the pole and let it loose. Okay. You can pull it up from this side.
Okay.
There's no more water here, so there's no rushing river to fight against. There's also not a thing at the end that could catch on rocks like before. So yeah, you just pull it across easy.
And how far is this other ledge where Carr is standing right now? Does that look climbable or?
Like how far down is it?
Yeah.
It's only a handful of feet down.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be something especially slidable at the very least. It's only about as probably tall as you are, maybe a little taller.
Okay. So I'll look back at the veteran and say, "Come help me," and gather up the rope and then rush over to where Steen is.
Okay. Yep. So you'll take the rope and then rush on over and let it down.
Yeah.
for him to climb back up.
Anybody else who wants to help with the rope, that would be cool, because Izzy is not strong.
All right, Steve. Athletics to climb.
It's would helping with the rope break my concentration.
No, I don't think so.
I just I had a question. Are we using 5e jump rules, or are we just your jump rules for this?
So
Because in D&D 5e, my long jump distance with a 10-foot run would be 18 feet. Because it's based on your strength.
it's based on your strength score, right?
Yes.
Unless you try to jump further than that, then it goes off of your athletics and then off the leap.
But I wasn't jumping. I wasn't attempting to jump further than my jump distance.
That's what I asked before you jumped, and then you said
No,
you
I
rolled
was
it.
just doing a running jump and then misty stepping.
Yeah, I mean that's why I specifically asked, are you trying to jump past your max distance? You said yes. I said okay, then roll the athletics.
So if I'm trying to jump further than my base jump distance,
Mhm.
wouldn't I have had a longer jump than my normal jump distance if I tried harder?
Not necessarily. If you strain
Not
beyond
if
your
you roll
case,
an 11.
if you strain
Yeah, but-
beyond your capabilities to do more than what you normally are capable of, then you have the risk of not being able to jump as far as you are normally capable of. That's the reason why they do the athletics roll.
Okay. I'm just wondering because if I rolled less than a 10, it relatively would have been negative jump distance. If I rolled more than 10, it would have been more positive. Right?
Bingo. That's why
So
it's
I would have jumped
it's a
18 plus feet.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole purpose, though, right? Is if you try to go beyond your normal, push yourself beyond your capabilities, you have a 50-50 chance of screwing it up. That's basically the idea of why you roll the athletics. Although
So,
also with
I would've
athletics
jumped
you
more
get
than 18 feet.
you could get proficiency. You can
Yeah.
get it's actually better than 50-50 because you're proficient in athletics, so you actually have your proficiency score more than that. But yeah, that other than just your strength score.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to understand. So if I rolled an 11, my jump distance is 18, I would have jumped further, very slightly more than 18 feet out. Then, correct?
Right. Yes.
Instead of 11 feet? So I would have actually made it.
Like 19
You rolled a
feet.
3 plus 8. You got a total of 11. Not your.
You're basing it off of the single dice, not the modifier.
No, you rolled a 3 plus 8 is 11. It's 11 feet. I mean that's the athletics roll, right? That's the. So if you had rolled a 10, it'd have been plus 8. That'd have been 18. 18 feet. And 11 would have been more. So if you.
Okay. I'm just confused because my jump distance is 18 feet because my strength modifier is 18.
Yes. That's correct. Unless you try to go beyond your capabilities and jump further, in which case you have a chance of jumping less.
Mm-hmm. And because I got an over 10 score, my jump distance is reduced.
You didn't get an over. You didn't get your
your
athletics is the when you choose to jump further, what you roll in your athletics is the number of feet you jump.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's not an over under thing. It's a.
Yeah. So if I didn't say yes to trying to jump further, I would have made it no problem.
That's right. Yes, exactly.
Because I misunderstood your question. I didn't understand. I didn't even know that was a rule. But okay.
Oh yeah, but no, that's what it means.
So I'm never doing that again.
Well, I figured you
can
were going to
jump
try to
it.
jump in Misty Step, but I wasn't. That's up to you to decide. I thought you
Yeah.
thought you could actually jump it, which you can't.
I could if I didn't try.
Well, you couldn't. You couldn't jump the 40 feet.
No, but I could jump Misty Step without trying.
Well, but with trying, just not overexerting, not trying beyond your normal capabilities.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I misinterpreted your question. It screwed me up. Got it.
So we've lowered
Not
the rope.
screwed.
Use up
Dude,
three
I got to
spell
part
slots
the
to get-
water.
Yeah, that was pretty
Baller,
cool.
yo.
We got Moses here.
Yeah.
Moses parted the Red Sea
Yeah, but
for
this
you.
Is, this is Moses after everyone's halfway across. It's like, oh wait, guys, I got this party trick.
Like, I didn't know I could do this.
There's divine intervention happening right here. This is what's happening.
I just saw
It's like
it and I
pure
reacted.
Oh wait, I can do this. Everyone just looks at Moses like, really? Man.
So we got this rope.
And he rolled really well on his climb.
Yes.
And I think with what we've got holding on, plus him using, he can actually use the rock. He can climb really well, because he's Rockman.
Right.
And he rolled super well. So I think he only has to use the rope as like a steadying aid occasionally instead of an actual. He's not just, reverse rappelling or anything.
Yeah.
He's not just doing a rope climb. So I don't think that you even have to roll about holding him. Holding his weight. The three of you shouldn't be a problem. So he does make his way up to the top.
Now, that being said, does it look like they could just walk across the water now? Where the water was? I'm asking the DM.
Yeah, it's kind of rough terrain across there, but without the rushing water there, you could be walked.
Like we can climb down the cliff face and we'd have to climb back up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we got the rope down here, so.
And you guys can loosen the rope on this side so we can climb down.
Hey, we got a good 9 minutes left, but the
Yeah.
water might be building up on that side too, and I might have to shift things around. So,
Make it snappy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, will you guys let the rope down that's left so we can climb down?
Yep.
I'll try it. I'm gonna have to go across the rope bridge.
Because that whole area where the arrow goes across, that's all open right now, right?
That's right.
Okay, so we
just
can
make-
climb back up and just have them go across where the bridge is.
Yeah, we can just release ropes on that side, and they can use
Yeah.
the ropes to get up on this end. So
Okay.
see, if I was being a dick wolfing, I could also redirect flow, so I could just so once you got close to this side, I could have just turned you around.
Just smacked him down again.
I was assuming you didn't just sink to the bottom.
Blub blub.
You're a rock and plate.
Yeah,
I'm
swimming is not his strong suit.
that's
Okay.
why they make ropes.
Okay, so let's say we're not in a crazy hurry at the moment. I think if you take your time, we could probably climb fairly easily. So let's go ahead and roll an athletics for everyone that's going to take the ropes across or ropes down, over, and back up. So two athletics checks to climb the rope, down and up.
While they're doing this, what can I see down deeper in this cave?
I really can't do both things at once, so yeah, let me just finish this bit up and then we'll just shift to that.
Like-
So climbing down, you're not very good at that. It is a 40-foot drop. You scramble down and then kind of lose your hold, and you do drop and hit yourself for 8 points of damage on the way down, and then make your way up on the other side.
Did you? Okay, thank you. Let's get my knees and my elbows and my hands. I'm a sad panda.
And Capricious is fine. He rolls well. He needed to, but he did. And then Lodrin to make his way across.
He's just doing the wild shape.
He's doing it anyway. He's like, fuck ropes. Done.
I don't like just dispel it all at once. Like if you imagine my hand was down there, I just sort of like slowly lift it up so the water doesn't all just come crashing through all together.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, like imagery of the dam letting off some water slowly so you don't just flood everything down below. Okay, cool.
Man, everybody, this was almost a damning situation.
Ooh,
I'm gonna
I
walk
felt that
forward
cringe.
and ignore that.
Yeah. Is there a spot? I'm gonna gather up the ropes and stuff that we can still collect, and the pitons and things.
We're gonna leave one. We're gonna leave one piton on the other side, and
one rope.
and one rope. Okay.
Is there somewhere here that like maybe the dragonettes had landed somewhere that I could leave a little potion of healing?
What do you mean? Like I mean, there's
Like if there was a little ledge or something that they had landed on that I know that they can reach, and I'll leave a potion of healing for them there.
I love how
Yeah.
she's doing the hand motions, but you can't see this.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, the whole area you're standing on would be a ledge sufficient itself, right? So.
Yeah, I was just thinking somewhere like a little bit off the ground, if there was a little jut of rock or somewhere that they had perched before. But I'll leave them a potion, like just a regular potion of healing. And
Okay.
I'll use my charcoal to just draw a little heart beside it.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's a sufficient place that you could drop one of those off.
Okay, and then we got our stuff collected as much as we can.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's more or less in one piece.
I would like one D100 to see if you can recover the piton on this side. So part of the we hammered it in specifically so that it won't come out. So it's going to be
Right.
It's one of those things that they usually don't come undone.
Well,
Typically.
can I like use one of my other daggers to kind of dig it out? Like just a regular dagger.
Okay, you're gonna try just regular dagger, see if you can chip away some
Yeah.
some rock on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, let's make the D100 with that. I'll change the DC a little, so go ahead.
Okay.
May have blunted the edge on the dagger a little bit, but it doesn't break. And you manage to free the piton.
Yay!
So we have the one on the other side that's just on the other side. So we have 7 and 4 ropes left.
7 pitons and 4 ropes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then you can see another very naturally eroded cavern through a path below that as soon as you kind of step into, you can see some natural light emanating along the edge.
Can I do my usual like sneaky through the tunnel? Try
Okay.
and stick along the wall and see if I can see what's up ahead.
Mhm.
With my rod of alertness.
Yes. Alright, stealth check. Okay, feeling reasonably good about it. Kind of scope your way around. You see that there is some large eroded areas, the kind of the area where Lumo's headed towards. When you make your way around that side, you'll notice that that back corner had been used long ago as a potential like campground. There's a little circle of rocks. There's some bits of ash in the middle of it. Not something that had been used recently. Not even in the recent past, but long ago. Yeah.
Is there anything left, or just like the circle of ashes and stuff?
It's just a circle of rocks with some ashes.
Okay.
Then several other stones that had kind of been set up like something people would sit on, flat top in a certain way.
Right.
Then off on the other side, yeah, you just see a pretty intense bit of light. So we had light coming from up above, just barely over the slit that is the chasm. The wall went way up above where we are, and so we couldn't actually see the sun, even though it's midday. You couldn't actually see the sun itself. You could just see some of the residual light pouring down in off from the side somewhere into the chasm that the water runs through.
I would like to further investigate this little campsite, if I could.
Okay.
Gonna use my bardic inspiration for 10 minutes go by and I lose it. What I'm really kind of curious is wow.
It's the day of the dice.
How do campfires work? No, I was really just kind of curious, like who was sitting in here that didn't get attacked by the little dragon people?
Yeah, there's not much clues as to anything along those lines anyway. If there were, is long eroded. It probably hasn't been used since the last time the bridge was actually used.
Okay, so it may just be very old then. That's what I'm.
Seems that way.
Okay.
Wow, you can investigate. Oh, yeah, plus 10, that's pretty nuts.
That's my bardic inspiration.
Oh, it has with the... it's not...
I should have rolled. Yeah, I did that wrong. My bad.
What you doing there, Car?
Cheating.
What you looking at?
Only slightly cheating.
Only slightly cheating.
What you looking at? Maybe I can help.
Well, that's not bad. At this point, it's like I think it's really old. I was just curious if who was in here that maybe the little dragonlings didn't attack.
You said there was ashes on the ground. I want to collect those ashes and put it into another vial of
Ooh, yes. Okay.
crazy collection of things.
Steen's the original Sherlock Holmes.
Trying to
over
make
here.
some, he's making some black powder. Gonna get there.
I was thinking he's going to have a really bad chili recipe.
Could be that too.
Gross.
Tar and ash and just trying to get comfort back to his homeland right after it was destroyed. Bring back some memories.
Okay. Yeah. Vial of ashes from Dragonette Cave. There we go.
Yeah, and then so as you know, the other side of the cave over where Izzy's at does very quickly break way into a rather flat area on the side of the mountain. It's rather expansive, some rocks, and it looks like maybe water had flowed at some point in time, long time past, maybe before the chasm finished creating its crevice, when the water was more along the actual lines with this cavern when it was eroded out. It was an outlet at some point where paths had wound their way down. Not a very steep decline on the outside, but definitely starting to go down on this open kind of pathway through the mountains.
Excellent. I'll wave everybody forward. Start making my way out that way.
Unlike most of everything you've seen to this point, on the other side, there's actually some vegetation out along this side of the cliff face. Seems like it receives quite a bit of sun, as well as maybe potentially birds and the like that seeded the area. Not entirely rock. There is a almost like a forest floor. Duff, I think is what they call it, or whatever, is just like rotting vegetation and stuff, just like at the very bottom of a forest floor, that the stuff is growing from, and then rock immediately below that. So you kind of get this a little bit of, like the pine needle-y crunch, if you will, as you walk out onto the grass and the things out on the out into the sun.
To the sun.
Okay, and so now that we can kind of see a lot better, because we're not just on the cliffside in between two mountains, you can actually see that you're on one side of a mountain, and there's still another mountain on the other side of you, and this open area slopes down, and you can see it slope down and around off to one side of this particular mountain. You can hear the water rush behind you, and you can also hear that water somewhere up ahead bends and comes back somewhere around the mountain, rushing somewhere below that you can't hear, or that you can't see, rather. You can only hear.
Now that we're out and can see the sky, is it possible to kind of try and get my bearings a little bit?
Yeah, we are just past midday now, so you kind of get an idea of at least which direction is east, and it looks like the side of the mountain we're on is maybe west, maybe northwest of the side of the mountain, and then judging from the map that we originally had of the way of kind of how the mountain ridge surrounded the Savage Lands. This is at least the right side of the mountain to be crossing through the mountain ridge off over maybe this other mountain that you can see kind of at a bit of a distance on the other side of that mountain might actually be the valley.
Okay. From our vantage point where we are, can we see like a pass through the mountain or anything? Like through the next mountain over?
Not from this side. So as you kind of look down, you can see that it kind of slopes down and over. The other mountain looks like it juts into the mountain you're on, but somewhere down and around, maybe off to your north somewhere. So there might be something over there around, just kind of down and around that you can't see from here.
Okay. I will point this out to Capricious and see if he knows anything more detailed about the path into the valley.
So in general, the one thing that he's still kind of looking at, is trying to go back to the book that he read that didn't show up, that was blank except for when he read it, where it kind of describes some of the things to expect. In a way, the ancient people. We already met who those were. That had to have been the Druids. We have now, talking about some of the path through the mountains being on the sheer cliffs, and passing through what would have been the barrier. Seems like we're on the other side of that. And then, the last several mountains should be regular kind of trekking through mountains without the barrier and the magical presence that exerted by that barrier. But that's it. It doesn't just there wasn't like a map, it wasn't a picture, kind of thing. But he seems rather hopeful. It's like, aha, this must be it. Obviously, everything is right. It looks like the down path that the Y was the correct one. If we just make our way over this next mountain, we will find ourselves to that lost valley. I know it.
Well, there's still some daylight left, so let's see how far we can get.
So we make our way through down this sloping bit. As we do, let's make some perception checks. I'm trying to scope out our area around us and see if we can see what we can find about both the river and kind of the path ahead.
Booyah.
Still trying to pull himself together after nearly taking a dunk. Surviving the dunk tank.
I part the mountain.
What?
So out here you can see that not only is there some vegetation, but there are some other signs of life. There kind of tracks along the ground that are not like footprints, but like scrapes and not just like the talon scrapes kind of thing earlier, but like think if a body was dragged, the kind of path it would be left behind.
Ooh.
Not necessarily that that's the cause, but that's the, just a large, like something was drug on the ground, and there's several of them.
Is there anything like, sometimes if something's dragged through, it'll leave like fur or bits of something stuck to the branches that it breaks on the way through?
Okay.
Is there anything like that?
You can investigate. So you see one of these, like wallowed out paths. Looks like maybe something was drugged. You notice no signs of fur, bone, or any other things, hair, anything along those nature. But every now and then, like as you're kind of going over it, you get some bit of. It's not slime, but it's some viscous liquid. Not blood.
Can I use my detect poison and disease to see if that pings on anything?
It does not. I mean, you can, and it does not.
Yeah. What about detect magic? Is that still making things glow in this area?
It
Or
does
was that
not.
just kind of ended in the mountain. Okay.
It was in that, particularly in that tunnel area where y'all were. Presumably, maybe due to could have been, especially after talking to Capricious. Maybe that was something to do with where the barrier was or is, or something along those lines. Maybe it's somewhat exists. It's just not. Doesn't actually do its job anymore.
Right. Okay. Can I point out this goop to Lodrin and see if he knows anything about it?
We could.
Hmm.
These drag marks, there's this kind of goop here, and then she'll point to it. She's like, "Do you know what that is? Is it a natural thing?"
You can roll a nature check, Logan. See what you know. This is just the day.
Yeah.
The day of the one.
Because we all showed up on time.
Can I let Lotrin reroll that?
You can, actually. Yes. You kind of rub it between your fingers and you can feel that viscous nature. Smell it. You don't know any natural beast that makes this exactly, but at least not on this kind of scale, but there are things that live in the earth that do leave trails. Snails and even some big worms have a bit of slimy coating. Those are natural things that have stuff like this. But you've not seen any that would leave us any kind of indication of something this big, or I don't know, it's different.
I would say it is natural, but this much of it is not natural.
Does it go across our path where we're trying to go?
Yeah, there are several of these drag marks that kind of crisscross throughout this entire sloping like cliffs. It's not cliffside. It's almost like a little plains on top of a mesa, but at a slight downhill grade as it goes down, and then around the side of the mountain. There's quite a few of them.
Okay, well, it doesn't appear to be dangerous, so I guess just keep an eye out for whatever might have left it. And I'll keep going, I guess.
Oop, new thing.
Our party begins making its way down along this place. These eroded. It looks like several different streams went off in multiple different directions from when the water actually eroded out this area on the side of the mountain. As you make your way through, you notice where, kind of right in front of you, off to the side as you're making your way down this path, that one of these little troughs, if you will, is right up to the rock and stops.
Like one of the drag marks?
Yeah. It's right up to the very edge of the rock and stops.
Can I use my detect magic?
Yeah, nothing's being in magic.
Can I'll use my detect evil and good then.
Nothing's coming back on evil or good.
I'm gonna just do a quick look around to see if there's any sign of movement or anything that might be watching us here.
Okay. Roll me one more perception. Sorry, that looked like double ones. Like, no way! On the dice that I saw.
Yeah, same for me.
Okay. I was like, dude, there's no way. You start peering intently at that area in front. The rock itself has some weird texturing to it. It's not quite like the rock right beside it.
It's guano.
I'm gonna hold up a hand to try and get everybody to stop, and just very quietly, just to Lodrin and Bijou and Capricious, I'm gonna point this out to them, because it's striking me as weird. So both the rock that looks like a different kind of rock than the rock beside it, and the slime that goes up to the rock and then stops.
Can we roll nature on it to see what we know what it is?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, looking at it, you can see, kind of the natural flows, the way water has hit and eroded areas over this. Maybe that's the thing that looks different, is the rock doesn't have this natural erosion kind of flow to it. It's got some of the same smoothness, some of the similar colorations, but it, like, just looking at the side of the mountain, the way that it was carved out by the water flowing through here, there shouldn't be a rock there. Water, in order for it to flow through, would have been a little different. Just would have been a little different.
Is there a stick around?
Not a stick, because there's not really trees here, even though even though I kind of described it as kind of like the forest floor. It's just more of that loose, rotting vegetation is the dirt, not so much that like the dirt is more like compost than actual dirt. But there are no trees.
All right, so I pull out an arrow and turn it around to the other feather end, and I kind of reach out and use it as a stick and try to touch the rock.
Just poke it.
Yeah, but very nicely. Like I'm trying to figure out what it is, you know. Very investigatively.
Like right here, and then poking the rock.
Yeah. But not hard, just kind of trying to figure out what it is.
Do a survival and an investigation check to see if it's moved from that, like, while she's doing that. See if I notice any drag marks to that position or, like, steps.
Yeah, you notice some smaller drag marks that look like they move right up to the steps. You don't see anything on the steps. Steps. The things that look like steps. They're not man-made steps by any means. And then you can see that up above that there's a little bit of that drag mark there as well. Bijou pokes at the rock, and immediately the rock shimmies.
The rock is not a rock.
And lashes out like a face hugger out of the side of the wall. It's a giant worm thing.
Can my reaction be to jump back?
Not before it gets to lash out at you, and then everyone rolls initiative.
You're screwed. This Grick's gonna kill all of us. Just saying. And Graboids gonna get us.
You can see its maw. It looks kind of like a worm, and then as it comes at you, its maw opens up and spreads into several large tentacles wrapped around a large beak. As the beak tries to snap at you, as you immediately try to lurch backwards and jump back from its strike. As you do, the tentacles slash with jagged bits lining their edges, slashing at you.
Ooh.
As soon as the shuddering worm-like graboid, if you will, lurches out after you, it lets out a scream, and as the pitch hurts your ears, it's almost deafening. The earth rumbles in all manner all around you as several bits of the rock begin to shudder and move as multiple of these gricks form.
Ugh.
Izzy, you are first.
I'm gonna draw Shadow Star and jump at the one that just attacked Bijou and try to fend it off.
Okay.
Well,
You can see it coil and swing like a viper as as you go to stab at it. It just sways and tucks half of its body in a way where, right as you were to stab, the blade pierces right through empty air, where body is now coiled around it.
and then I guess I'm just gonna kind of spin away from Bijou, try and draw its attention away from her.
Okay.
To go kind of over here. And I'll stow my rod back in my belt. And then I think that's all I can do this turn.
So yeah, if you're gonna stow the rod, yeah, that would take. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to then also stow and draw.
Right.
Yeah, unfortunately. Okay. Bijou, you have been lashed at, and deep cuts along your shoulders and even a little on your chest that would have just would have kind of cupped in around you, almost grasping you. But you ducked back just in time. Now's your chance. What do you do?
So we're like walking on like ridges, right? Like this isn't all flat.
It's
Or is this all flat?
definitely a grade down. It's just not a very steep one. Um, Maybe 15 degrees at most coming down. And of course, there's a bunch of ups and downs. A little bit of a cliff wall on this side. It's like a little bitty stepped area that goes up and around. Path. Wall. Big wall on that follows the left side of the path pretty far around.
Okay. I'm gonna try and back away from it then.
Okay. How far back are you making it? Just 5 feet back? As you try to back.
No, there's nowhere really to go.
Okay.
So forget that. I'm gonna hit it with my rapier.
Okay. Yeah, you do. Yeah, just as it had kind of tucked and coiled, you could see its head shift and turn and look at Izzy as she tried to stab it. And just as its head's turned, you take your rapier and jab it into its side.
Do I have advantage on that?
No, because you're not diametrically opposite of her. It's not
Okay.
technically flanked at the moment.
Okay.
can see Capricious begin casting a spell. A dazzling flare of these hypnotically patterned lights flash and dazzle just south of Izzy. As you're facing the Grick, you can just see out from either side of your peripherals as the light flares real bright behind you. Two of the giant worm creatures had flared their headpieces with the tentacles out. You can see the tentacles droop as its whole head falls forward, limp in the air, stunned. You can see the little Grick kind of slither its way over to the top of this little cliff. It's about 8 feet up above, and from way up there you can see it uses its elongated body to lash out. And it misses very miserably, coiling itself back.
As long as they're rolling ones also.
What do I know about Gricks?
Roll a nature check for that one, for knowledge about that particular.
Okay.
Yeah, it's better. Particularly because of your Earth Genasi background, they are also creatures of the Earth, in a way. They themselves are not made of rock, but they have very stone-colored and stone-hardened skin and scales, and they are known for very convincingly blending in with their surroundings. If those surroundings are stone, that is. And they usually lay in wait along paths that are traversed by animals or things of the like, and then they lash out. I mean, they're really rock graboids in a way.
Okay. All right, new battle plan, everybody. We leave the red shirt behind and we all run for it. Sorry.
You don't have to be the fastest. You just have to not be the slowest.
Yeah, exactly. So are both? Oh, hold on. I can see that. Quick 10. All right. Can I? Okay, yeah. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna run over here, and then shove Bijou away from the Grick.
Okay. Are you going to resist her doing, resist him doing so, Bijou? About him pushing
Not
you
at
away?
all.
Okay, so yeah, he's gonna come over and he's just gonna just kind of push
Hit
you off to
check.
the side. Over next to Lumo.
And is that an action or a bonus action?
So you can use that. The shove. Takes the place of one attack in an attack action. So you
Okay, I have another attack.
You have 2 more even as a fighter. Level 11 fighter on your attack action. You get 3 attacks around.
Okay.
Your shield is linked, is it not?
It is.
Okay.
Whoa. Okay. Well, don't roll lower than that. And
You can feel as you clang your shield up against it that without a very solid hit, their stone-hardened scales acts like plate mail.
Roger. Let the reckoning begin.
You can see as this brick on the bottom left slithers to the edge, it also is able to just straight slide down the side of the cliffside without any hesitation or lack of speed. It just scrambles down the side of the sheer cliff area. And then up the path. This one does similarly.
Let's go punchy.
Okay, we're going to try to stun the Grick Alpha. It rolled particularly well. You can feel when you land your punch how it has the hardened scales, but you can just feel from the way the reverberations hit on the inside. It's still a type of worm on the inside. So if you can break through past the actual hardened scales on the exterior, it is soft.
Let's try and stun it right again.
It fails.
Alright. Did I do damage? I did not do.
Did not do damage, no.
There we go. Okay.
And it gets the stunned condition. This one slithers down the side of the cliff. Lashing out at Izzy. Pincered between the large one and the little one. It lashes out with the tentacles. You can feel it kind of grasp onto you a little as it pulls you into its beak, as the beak tries to bite. You're not considered grappled.
Okay.
Car, you're up.
That the Grick 32. Where is he? Am I melee? If I'm right up next to him.
He is about 8 feet high on the edge of the cliff. He tried to stretch with his elongated body down to be able to try to lash out at Lodrin sticking above. But the cliff edge is about 8 feet up to the edge of the cliff. You could reach it with your sword, but it would be a disadvantage to attack something like at the edge of your reach up there.
So I have to read some real quick.
Is it supposed to do more at this level?
Yeah.
It does a D8 for each.
Yeah, it did not auto adjust
1, 2,
on me,
3.
so
Yeah.
at
So
by
just
level 11, it does 3, so I'll hit it 2 more times.
just hit it 2 more times. Yep. There we go.
Okay, that felt better.
Nice.
This Grick is still slumped over forward. Its tentacles just limp down in front of it, as is the other one up on the cliff. The veteran tries to go all Ginsu on this on the one that attacked it with its long sword and short sword. Alright, with its head swiveled, still staring at Izzy, it's going to attack with its tentacles to try to lash out at Izzy, and at the same time, whip with its tail and try to hit Steen.
I'm probably gonna use an uncanny dodge on this one.
Okay, so I'll cut it in half. The tentacles, you try to slip out, and they just cut you a little. And as you duck and dive, you miss the brunt force of the actual tentacles slashing into you themselves, as the beak also snaps as the tentacles try to grip. They hurt. The alpha is very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
This one's stunned. And then Lodrin. The little bitty ones don't have nearly as hardened scales as the other. Yep, and as a matter of recourse, one that attacked you with a necrotic energy writhe, shrivels, and then falls limp and dying. Ooh, the alpha goes first.
Oh no.
I'm actually going to use a reaction. Well, I don't know if I can do that. I guess I'll have to wait till the.
You can still use your reaction. You're talking about for your spore thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it at any time. Yeah. And you haven't used your reaction yet. So yeah, using it before your turn. Yeah, you can totally do it now. You just want to directly. Yeah, there's no like to hit or anything. You just make it happen. So. Okay, if you just want to hit it with... oh, you did, sorry. I was waiting for something that already happened. Okay, so the poison sprays across its back as it's kind of facing it, forcing it to turn to see where the new attack has actually come from. It definitely can't see you as a source, but it sees Steen that also had just bashed it, so that forces its attention back this direction to attack Steen this time instead of Izzy with the big tentacles. Alright, Bijou, you're up again. The bolts streak from your hand, aim right at the Grick. You can see as it bounces its tentacles and gnashing beak off of Steen's large shield. The guiding bolt strikes it in the side, but in a glancing way that just sputters off and then lands against the rock and explodes. Its thick shell protecting it yet again. Technically, that one's still stunned until the end of Lumo's turn. I don't know why it always screws it up. So yeah, technically Grick Alpha 14 is still stunned until the end of Lumo's turn. I wouldn't take care of it that way.
Oh, that's my bonus action.
Thank you.
Okay. Little meep.
And I probably won't hit him, but I guess I'll take a swing at this guy for my action.
Okay, the one that's stunned. So you will get the advantage. I put the stun on it, so the advantage should auto do everything. So you should just do your regular thing. See what happens. Yeah, you did.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, a Stormbreaker. Oh,
That's juicy.
I'm gonna lie down for a minute now.
With the booming blade.
Blooming blade, the extra lightning, and a crit. So, oh, if the guy moves, he takes more damage. So as he's falling to his death, he just kind of shakes.
Large thunderous cacophony as thunder and lightning explode from the sword tip as Carr slashes through the worm, cleaving it, and as it does, you can see almost like a frog in a frying pan, like just like the electric shock running through its nervous system causes it to gyrate and move. Dead on the ground.
I always wondered what happened when lightning hit a frog.
Alright, Izzy. We have hit it.
yeah. I was just trying to see if I get a sneak attack on this one, but I don't think I do.
You should because Steen's within 5 feet of it.
No, this is the little one behind me. I missed the alpha.
Oh, they're both named 10. One is Alpha 10, one's
Yeah.
regular 10. Okay. Nothing but you is
No.
within 5 feet of it, right?
Yeah, but it says I just had to pull it up. Yeah, no creature other than your target is within 5 feet of you. So that's
within 5 feet of you. I always get that back. I always think it should be 5 feet of
Same.
it. But there is something else within 5 feet of you, unfortunately.
So it's just a little jabby jab.
Pink.
And then I'm gonna run.
Oh god. Yeah, because you have attacked both.
I'm gonna go right there.
Okay, yes. Danger zone.
That's not a good place for me.
Again, the little Grick just keeps smashing itself against the shield, trying to come up and around it, but Steen just keeps ever holding it off. You can hear Capricious mumble some arcane words. And then in a language that... Okay, let's check. In a language no one understands, you can hear him yell at the large alpha.
Capricious is doing this.
Yes.
Okay.
And... Okay, yep. you can see that whatever he said causes the Grick to recoil as though struck, as it flails its head a little back and forth. All right, Lumo.
Let's fling some. And then fling some more.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Oh, 2-1.
Double deuce.
And I reroll that.
Ah, yes.
There
Halflings, man.
You gotta be bad to be good.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's about all
Yeah.
she can do.
Yeah, I mean, you see several large bolts of radiant energy pummel right into the side of the Grick, taking out large chunks of places, leaving where it had struck and struck solidly, burning some of the flesh. You can see now that the alpha is wavering heavily.
Oh yeah, the thing. Bam.
Grick slithers its way up the path. Incapped. Several of the little bitty Gricks slither forward. A couple attack Limo, one attack Steen.
They better start bringing their A game if they want to hit me.
Yeah, the little ones have to crit to hit you, as it turns out. Big ones have to get really close to a crit to hit you.
Uh, hold on. I gotta just realize my green flame blade didn't go up with my level.
Nope, those anything that increases its damage based on level, you have to do that
You do.
automatically. You have to do it manually rather. It doesn't do anything automatically.
Mm-hmm. Alright, I'm gonna Green Flame Blade.
Okay. You gotta hit first. Gotta hit first.
Yeah, yeah.
Roll the attack.
Yeah, Just making sure I'm gonna do it right before.
Okay. Yeah, you
Okay,
did.
good
So yeah, don't have to undo the damage thing since you did hit with it. Okay, now roll the damage.
Yeah, I'm just making sure I understand the damage roll before I roll a bunch of 2d8s on accident.
So it's this the damage of the weapon with the 2d8's automatic. Yeah, so just roll the regular damage.
Yeah, I get that. But for the leap attack, for when it hits another target, I'm making sure. I think it's
Yeah, then
another 2d8 on the next creature. Yep, 2d8 for the creature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they both go up. They go at 11th level. They both went up to 2d8.
Yep, and the one on the target is supposed to be 3d8, I guess. I'm gonna read that.
Now the one you're so at level 5 or like when you first do it, all it does is adds the splash effect, and then when you get to level 5, when you would have had extra attack, it does the 1d8 to you and the splash effect. And then when you get to level 11, it adds 1d8 to both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it is 2d8 in both cases. 1 and then 1 normally, then it adds 1, and then it adds 1 to each at the next one.
I was making sure I was understanding it completely. And that's my turn.
Did kill the alpha though. And splash.
Yay.
And then I used my bonus action to attack again. So
Yep, there you go.
Oh, I hit something.
The little bitty ones are a lot easier to hit. Well, that would have hit the big one too, but yeah, so that did a thing. It was slightly wounded already from the veteran trying to go Ginsu on it all this time.
And then I spin away and tuck back.
Okay.
Had enough of being the front line.
Alright, then Bishu's up. We'll have the 2 that are incapped at the south that are still motionless, slumped over. And we got these 4 right here. The little one. We got 4 little ones. Alright, so the radiant energy strikes the one on the other side of Steen over there, and it itself is still radiated, if you will, glowing. Lumo. Several of them have bared down on you and have been attacking. Okay. Your radiant fireball. Have we got to see this yet?
I think he did it once, like to show off for the school of people.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought I hit someone with it. That was like I thought I hit like Steen or someone with it too.
Oh.
Trying to remember.
You should move it up. You should do it again. Yeah, you get all the enemies that way. He's got a lot of life.
All right, so we'll do. Trying to remember how to do this one. Okay,
Be a dex save probably first.
it's not Dex.
Is it not dex?
It is not.
Oh, it's a constitution. This is pretty bad failure. They're actually not very high in constitution. They have thick shell, but mushy interior. Radiant energy bursts. One of the little injured little bitty ones up front explodes, scattering shmoo everywhere.
Oh.
Excellent. No, I don't think so. Oh, that Grick 22 on the far right there would not have had to make the save if he's behind total cover for me. So I don't know if.
No, he's up above, but still not under total cover.
Okay. Then cool.
Right, anything else?
I think I don't need. No, I think I'll save this key for later.
Right, enraged with the source of their discomfort, they are going to get nasty. Try. The damage rouses the alpha.
Better rousing. That would just be weird.
At a long range, its large body strikes in between the two little ones. Missed with the tentacles, which is real nice. And then Lodrin is up.
Lodrin's going to squint against that display that you just saw Limo do. And in that same area, he kind of kneels down to the ground, sticks his fingertips in the underneath. You know, you were mentioning earlier the kind of thick carpet of just kind of dead vegetation or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then right in front of Lumo, the ground opens up and locusts start pouring out.
Cool.
I'm not going to make that same sphere again, but it's going to be exactly that same spot. And
Okay, sure.
hitting those 4 things.
Yeah, that's fine. Which thing are you casting? Is it insect plague, isn't it? Yeah.
His dice were bigger than mine.
Is that a one-shot thing, or does that stick around?
It stays.
Yeah, I thought so.
So I probably should have made this stupid thing. Hang on.
Control and double click, or use both clicks to drag.
Well, little ones abound. All die. As the swarm of locusts pours out of the dead in the ground, just start swarming. You can see them, the different gricks flailing away as the little bites and things. Does it actually do piercing? It does do piercing damage. Okay, so it is bites from the and just the onslaught of all of that, especially with the already opened flesh from the radiant damage. They get in and kill several of the little gricks, and the large one is caught up flailing around for its life as it's being eaten alive. Man, that's gnarly.
Mhm.
They're not smart. They're very nature, so it's still gonna keep trying to attack Steen. Not a natural 20, so he misses.
La-di-da. Way too much rock for these gricks to handle.
And since he's already taken damage, I can use the D12s.
Ooh.
Nice.
3 D12s. There you go.
Yeah, it's not often we get to see D12s.
All right,
Oh,
finish
those
him.
are D12s now? Jesus Christ.
If he's already taken damage, like
Oh, that's what it is. That's right. Okay, I forgot that's how the total good actually works.
What? That was double 20s.
He can't hit you, but you sure hit him. For not a lot. All you needed. For the precisely calculated critical amount necessary to kill.
Critically precise, would you say?
Smash it up against the rock behind it. And then the outer thick shell cracks as you smash it up against the rock. It cracks and breaks and just
Like
squish.
an egg.
Just squishes. Exactly like an egg. Yeah, with a very much thicker outer shell than a normal egg, but
Okay, if I walk in the circle, do I take damage? I just gotta make sure before I do it.
it's difficult terrain. I don't.
if you end your turn inside of the circle, any creature that ends its turn inside of the circle will take damage. Or enters the circle. Enter for the first time or ends its turn there.
You just watched 3 gricks get eaten alive by the locusts in there. And you're like, that looks like a good place to go.
Have you
Yeah.
seen my attire? I'm equipped for Plague of Locusts.
they're gonna like get all up that plate armor, and you ain't getting them back out.
Like sand or glitter.
I'm like made of stone. Like, what are they gonna do? Tickle me? Like, wait, can I be tickled? Interesting question.
Ooh, let's not find that one out.
Magic locusts.
Magic, magic. Hmm.
Are you getting froggy? Are you getting in there?
I mean, I feel like it'd be just responsible for the group for me to actually take some damage for once. I mean,
Maybe.
gotta share. Yep, not doing it. We've been in like 3 fights, and I haven't taken a hit.
Yeah, no more finger waggers. The things that you know,
Eh,
those will saves are the things that are your weak point. When you go against natural beasts that just try to attack you with teeth, you're real good against that.
Hey, you want to go kill all these mages? No. You want to kill a couple ogres? Sure.
Ogre mages? Yeah.
No, no, no. Well, maybe.
You just made our next encounter, Wolfen.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay, so Capricious is going to speak in that weird language that no one understands again after starting with the arcane casting.
You're straight up just tempting me to use my scroll of
Oh.
comprehend languages, aren't you?
And this time, it couldn't pierce the cloud of all the locusts. Its conscious efforts were specifically on dealing with all that and not on listening to what Capricious had to say. So the veteran's going to come up here and maybe try to physically block it from being able to leave the circle. And dodge and dodge. Not dealing with the circle.
Not going through me.
Yeah, I'm not going in the circle either, but I might chuck a dagger at it from here.
Okay.
The locust. What about the locust? You might hit one.
I mean, I probably will.
Cold.
Oh, I
It
hit
is,
it.
to say, it is technically lightly obscured,
Oh,
and I was trying to think if that actually affects ranged attacks. I think light. What level of obscurity? I don't remember. What level of obscurity affects ranged attacks?
that adds armor class to it, right?
I think light, except for when it gets to actually heavily obscured or just obscured or whatever, and then it makes it disadvantaged. But I think lightly obscured is kind of like cover in a way.
But I got a 26. Should I roll it again for disadvantage?
No, you are actually okay. It only talks about the stuff on the inside of those, and then having disadvantage on perception checks to see it.
Mm-hmm. That's
It's
right.
the heavily obscured that is like the fog or whatever that makes the blinded condition. So you can still, yeah, no, yeah, you're good. You're good. Hit it.
Okay. Not gonna be for a lot anyway. And I'm pretty sure that's all I can do.
Okay.
Because both hands are still full.
Bijou. The flailing monstrosity.
So is he? Did we decide about the cover?
Yeah,
I
does it?
can see him fine.
Yeah, you can see him. Yeah. No! Too many locusts in the way. They diverted it.
I can't find any other rules besides like one or two pages.
Yeah, on the lightly versus heavily obscured. It does say about people inside of it has perception check that rely on sight. They don't have eyes, so the obscurity doesn't affect them at all.
Yeah.
They are graboids.
No wonder they're attracted to me because I'm so hot.
You can hear the shrieking as it climbs up and away from the bad puns.
Can I go with him?
As it effortlessly climbs to the top of the cliffside here, enraged, it makes a last-ditch effort to take vengeance on its attacker.
Just like my puns.
Reaction.
Oh, busted.
Bye bye.
Nice.
As it lashes out to attack Lumo with its tentacles, Lodrin sprays it again with a cloud of poison. And you can hear it reel and cough and sputter, and then just kind of like weirdly twitches the top of its head a little as it then falls off the cliff down into the plague of insects below, dead.
Does
So-
Lodrin get a Grick zombie?
It does come up again, but
Yep.
then the locusts immediately eat it.
Oh.
Yeah, as actually that say like it's dead and then re-alive, and then as soon as it enters the cloud on its way down for the first time, it takes 10 points of damage and dies. So
Wah wah.
talk about a roller coaster of emotions internally for this particular Grick.
Lodrin's like, my new friend.
I'm dead. I'm alive. I'm dead. Oh. Sad.
I just got the mental image of it like epically crawling out of this cloud of locusts and going to take a swing at Lumo, and then Logan just like like bug spray.
If you just had a lighter with that bug spray, you could have a real sad day for it. All right, so we did it. We made it past the Gricks. A couple of really sweet pieces. That the Alpha not being part of that fight until the end, and then the other one being stunned, and then it literally obliterated by that sword critical. That took what was actually meant to be a pretty hard encounter and made it easier. I mean, they were like you definitely have tools because you'll have magic and they're just natural beasts to deal with even hard encounters a lot easier. But that was worked out real excellent.
That sword critical was so cool. I don't
Yeah,
think
it was.
he's even had one that was that damaging.
I just expected to miss because I don't hit that. I mean, it's harder for me to hit, but
When you do, it hurts.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
He just needs to pick up the great weapon and smack something with it.
They have like 18. They had 18 AC for the big ones. The big ones did. With their thick natural armor.
Were they slimy?
Well, definitely on the inside.
Yeah.
The one that exploded, like literally everyone in like this entire
I'm
area is
sorry.
just covered in goo from when the little ones exploded.
I was standing back then, so I don't think I got any on me.
Yeah. Just it is very much like the Tremors movie when they get it to swallow the dynamite.
Gross.
Awesome. Okay, why don't we take a couple of minutes to do some things, and then the second half probably will not be very much long. It'll either be super crazy long, or it won't be that, or we won't go the full.
Just gonna kill us quick.
No.
Don't tempt me.
Quick and painless, please.
Any more
I mean,
puns, he might actually do it.